All right. The stuff's on the side. Good evening and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone is doing well on this Thursday evening. Got lots and lots to get into on the show tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit about Manchester United potentially being banned from European competitions if Jim Ratcliffe's 25% stake does go through. We'll also be giving you a bit of an update on the Raphael Varane situation, and we'll also be reacting to a story saying that Sir Jim Ratcliffe will get all of the creative, the sporting. I'm thinking of my day job now, creative. He's not going to do anything creative. He's thinking on the sporting side. He's going to get all of the sporting power. But before we go into that, please do make sure to smash a like on the video, everybody. It really helps to bring more people into the channel. So please do go and subscribe as well. We're on the road to 21,000 subscribers. So please do subscribe if this is your first time watching, and make sure to smash a like on the video. Right, let's jump straight on into it then. Let's talk a little bit about Raphael Varane. Now, I know he creates quite a lot of mixed opinions. Some people think that he should stay. Some people think that he should go. The headline coming out this afternoon is this. This is coming from Plettigol in Germany. Florian Pletterberg on Twitter, 250,000 followers, reports for Sky Sports. He's very, very good around the Bundesliga. Obviously, Raphael Varane has been linked to Bayern Munich in the last couple of days. Now, the headline that Sky Germany are running with this afternoon is that Manchester United are aware of the fact that Raphael Varane is unhappy with his current situation. It goes on to say, he would receive the green light for a transfer in January, but Manchester United want to sell him. A loan is not an option, and his valuation is 20 to 30 million euros. It goes on to say that Bayern Munich are monitoring his situation. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Would you let Varane go? And do you think 20 to 30 million euros is a fair price? I would say 30 million is good. I would be happy with that. In fact, I'd be very, very happy with that. 30 million euros is about 26 million pounds. That should be just about enough to go and get the Todibo deal done. We only paid 40 million euros for Varane. So if you think 30 million euros back in the bank, you've got Raphael Varane for 10 million euros for 2 seasons. Like, I would be happy with that. Obviously, we've paid him astronomical wages. I think he's on about 250 grand a week. Sorry, actually, it's way more than that. It's 350 grand a week, I believe. Let me just double check that, because I know people can get a bit funny, which is fair enough. Obviously, if you're telling people that somebody's wages is something and it's not, then obviously it's a little bit bad, isn't it? So on the official website that shows you all of the pay for every single player in world football, it says that Raphael Varane is currently being paid £340,000 per week by Manchester United. So not only would you get an extra 20 to 30 million euros in transfer fee, you would also be saving. His salary is 17.6 million a year. So when you look at it like that, I can see why Manchester United would be willing to give the green light on this deal. He probably is our best centre-back. Is he injury prone? Yes. Does he look like he's unhappy? Yes. Should Erik ten Hag have maybe made the situation better? Maybe. But at the end of the day, right, we have to back the manager. We do. And I want to play devil's advocate here, all right? And I want to remind you guys of this. I know we've had the international break, so football's kind of been forgotten about a little bit. Everybody's been talking about transfers, been talking about Jim Ratcliffe. Like, no one's really talking about actual football being played on the pitch, are they? Because we haven't really had anything to talk about, because it's just been internationals. But I just want to bring everyone back to the fixtures that we've got coming up between now and Christmas. Now, just before I go into this part of the show, I do want to just re-emphasise the fact that I 100% think Erik ten Hag is the right man for the job. I'm not sat here trying to, start a trend of Erik ten Hag getting sacked. Far from it. I'm just being realistic, and I'm bringing a point to discuss amongst all of us. Now, the next 10 fixtures that Manchester United have got, right? I honestly think this is our most difficult run of fixtures in the time Erik ten Hag's been here, that I can remember anyway. Obviously, our form hasn't been great. The performances haven't been great. Let's run through it really, really quickly then, and you'll get the context of why I'm bringing this up. So everybody keep in mind these 2 players, Jadon Sancho, Casemiro, 3 players, and Raphael Varane. Keep those 3 players in mind whilst I talk about what's about to come up now. The next 10 fixtures: Everton away, Galatasaray away, Newcastle United away, Chelsea at home, Bournemouth at home, Bayern Munich at home, Liverpool away, West Ham away, Aston Villa, and then Nottingham Forest away. I mean, of those next 10 games, I honestly think that maybe 2 of them are like ones I would be like, you have to go and win. Obviously, we're Manchester United. Obviously, we expect to win every single game, but none of those fixtures are easy. Let's be honest. None of them are, especially when you're playing badly. There's obviously falling outs going on between the players and the manager. There doesn't really seem to be a certain style of play at this moment in time because of injuries. That's not Erik ten Hag's fault. You've had so many injuries. I think that this next 10 games is make or break for Erik ten Hag. And I think that if Erik ten Hag's still here in January, I'll be very, very happy. And the reason I'll be very happy is because I think it will mean that we've won most of those games. Imagine if we lose against Everton on Sunday and then by Wednesday we're out of the Champions League. And then the next weekend we lose badly to Newcastle away. What's going to happen then? There'll be people in the fan base who already want Erik ten Hag gone. But imagine if in the space of 1 week, right, we lose to Everton, who are poor, we get knocked out of the Champions League, and then we lose to Newcastle. There'll be so many people calling for his head. And that's only taking us to next week. What happens the week after when we have to go and play Chelsea? And then the week after that, you go and play Bayern Munich, Liverpool away, West Ham away, and Aston Villa within the space of 10 days. I am quite concerned. I've said this on the show multiple times before. I'm quite concerned about what the next 6 weeks hold for Erik ten Hag. It's a very, very grim fixture list. It really, really is. And I do just wonder, the reason I'm bringing all this into the conversation is it's easy for us to say, oh, maybe, Varane's fallen out with Erik ten Hag. Sancho's clearly fallen out of Erik ten Hag. Blah, blah, blah. We know that for a fact. But there is always the possibility that Erik ten Hag won't be here in January. We have to remind ourselves of that, okay? There's going to be new voices. There's going to be new opinions coming in. Obviously, there's going to be Jim Ratcliffe coming in who's going to want to make his stamp on things. And do we think that Erik ten Hag will survive these 10 fixtures? That's what I want you guys to let me know in the comment section. And I think that he should survive these 10 fixtures. I think he is the right man for the job. I will back him even if we lost half of these fixtures, even if we lost, I would say 7 or 8 of these fixtures. I would back him. I would, because I do genuinely believe he's the right man to take Manchester United forward. I think that the problem is deeper. I think that we need to get rid of players. We need to change. We need to get a sporting director. We need to get a CEO. So many things need to happen before I start pointing the finger at Jim Ratcliffe. But I know a lot of people would just say, he's lost the game. Get rid of him. We should have won that match. Get rid of him. That's how football fans work these days. People just think that Manchester United should be winning Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. We're not that side anymore. And the reality of it is, as Royden says in the chat, if Erik ten Hag gets sacked, right, before January, it will be Fletcher and McLaren. Darren Fletcher and Steve McLaren will be the manager until the summer. And sell people because of that. They'll say, let's wait till the summer. Let's see who the new manager wants. So you'll keep Jadon Sancho, you'll keep Varane, you'll keep Casemiro. Now, maybe people say that we should be doing that anyway. That's obviously a possibility. But I just wanted to bring that into the show because it's easy for us to start looking forward to the January window and being like, this is who we need to buy, this is who we need to sell, and all the rest of it. But I honestly think at this stage it's very, very difficult to almost even predict what's going to happen because we might have a different manager by then, let's have a look. Lumen says, Kieran, forget about the ownership. I would rather take Jim Ratcliffe as the manager now over Erik ten Hag. Okay, fair enough. What else have we got? Daniel says, hope not. Sir Jim got it wrong. If he did cost Sir Jim longer term, not sure what he means there. Somebody says, I have a feeling Jim Ratcliffe likes Erik ten Hag. Well, I hope that does happen now. I think the video might be going a bit crazy. I don't know why it does this sometimes. Let me know if it's buffering. I think it's buffering a little bit. Just give it a second, everybody. I think it will sort itself out now. Sometimes it just does this, doesn't it? I think it's obviously because we're streaming at 6 o'clock on a Thursday. Everyone's probably on their computers and their phones. Anyway, let's crack on with the rest of the show. Bit of news to bring you about Pellistri. Apparently, Pellistri got injured on international duty. We don't know exactly what the injury was. We don't know the extent of how long he'll be out for. But apparently, Pellistri is injured, and yeah. I mean, it's another one to add to the list. Obviously, Luke Shaw is back. Obviously, Onana's available for the game, so that's a positive. Was Pellistri going to get any minutes anyway? I'm not entirely sure, to be completely honest with you. It's easy for us to say, Pellistri should start, Pellistri should get game time, but we're not the manager, are we? Erik ten Hag's the manager, and for whatever reason, he doesn't seem to pick Pellistri. So, yeah. Well, hopefully the lag is all right now. I do apologise for that, guys. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. It sometimes just goes a bit funny. But yeah, obviously, let me know in the comment section what you would do with Raphael Varane. And let me know what you think about my take about, do you think Erik ten Hag will still be here in January? Now, you can have an opinion not based on what you actually want, if that makes sense. Let me just explain myself a little bit better. Like, I want Erik ten Hag to be here in January 100%, but I think these next 10 games are very, very difficult. And I think that football is a results business. And I think that if these next 10 results go badly, I could see Jim Ratcliffe coming in and making a tough decision. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Right, let's talk about this story about Manchester United being potentially banned from European football. Now, this story has been completely blown out of proportion. It's literally been everywhere today. So many different people talking about it, saying, ultimately saying that Manchester United won't be able to compete in European competitions at the same time as Nice. Now, I don't really understand this situation because obviously Red Bull Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg competed in the same competition at the same time. We'll have to wait and see. But so the story that's come out is it's a source from within UEFA, and they say, as the rules stand, it's a clear situation. Ineos owns Nice and is set to have a significant role in running Manchester United. Unless the regulations are changed or Ineos sell one of their stakes, they cannot both play in European competitions unless one is in the Champions League and the other is in the Conference or the Europa League. So, from what I've read today, apparently whoever finishes the highest in their league, so say Manchester United finished second and Nice finished third, they both should be then qualifying for the Champions League, but they wouldn't. Whoever finishes higher would go in the Champions League, and whoever finished lower would go in the Europa or the Conference League. I don't really like this rule. I think it sounds a little bit strange. I think it's something that probably will be scrapped because multi-club ownership is such a popular thing these days. And it's such a common thing as well. There's so many, wealthy people who decide they want to own a club in France, a club in England, a club in Switzerland, and all the rest of it. So I think this is something that that UEFA will look at. And from what I'm hearing, it will be that clubs that are owned by the same person won't be able to sell players or loan players to the other club. So, for example, if this happened, Nice wouldn't be able to sell Todibo to Manchester United because it would create an unfair advantage, wouldn't it? If Manchester United bought all of Nice's best players for, say, a heavily reduced fee. Like what happened with Red Bull Salzburg and Red Bull Leipzig when they sold, what was he called? The striker. What was his name? Sesko, that was it. They bought him for like a really, really small amount of money, didn't they? It was like Benjamin Sesko. They bought him for about 12 million. Whereas to Manchester United and other clubs, they were asking for like 50, 60 million. They sold him to the club that ultimately owned the same club. And, there was question marks about that. It's to try and stop things like that. Richie says Manchester United won't make any European competitions anyway, so there's nothing to worry about. I mean, that's a fair point. Yeah, I reckon we'll still qualify for the Europa Conference League. Steven says no Premier League manager has been sacked so far, and I don't think Erik ten Hag will be the first. Yeah, I'm not sure if he'll be the first, but I just think that these next 10 games, like, imagine if we lose badly to Everton on Sunday and then lose to Galatasaray and lose to Newcastle. I think that it will be overwhelmingly bad. I think the players will probably stop playing for him. I think there'll be leaks from the dressing room. I think there'll be a lot of pressure on Jim Ratcliffe to come in and make some change. So that's the thing which is making me a little bit unsure about this. We know that the Glazers, under their ownership, have been very, very quick to sack managers. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Chris says one person isn't allowed to have controlling power of two football clubs that compete in the same competition. Okay. Stefan says Ten Hag has had more money than any other United manager. He brought in Anthony, Onana, Martinez, Casemiro, Mount and Højlund. And apart from a few months after the World Cup, all have been average and not world class. Fair enough. You're obviously entitled to your opinion. I would say that Martinez was very good last season. Casemiro was very good last season. Højlund, it's too soon to judge, so I'm not going to cast judgment on him. Onana as well, I think it's too soon to judge. Anthony, let's be honest, has been a disappointment. Mount, I think, is too soon to judge, but I will say this. I think it was a strange signing, and I don't think we should have done it. So I'll agree with you that it was a questionable signing, but I don't think we can say Mason Mount's a flop. Like, he's barely played any football. The flop element of it was, why did we bring him in and not play him? Like, that was stupid. That was a bad bit of business. So I agree with you on that sense, but I'm not going to really heavily criticise Erik ten Hag's transfers at this point, because I thought Casemiro was good at the time. I thought Martinez was good. I think Onana's a good signing. Mason Mount I didn't think was a good signing, and Højlund I thought was a good signing. Anthony I was unsure about, especially the price tag. Let's have a look. William says, isn't Ten Hag unavailable on the touchline against Everton? Yes, I completely forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. So obviously, Erik ten Hag got a red card, didn't he, in the last game? I think it was against Luton at home in the Premier League. So there will be no Erik ten Hag on the sideline against Everton. Now, it will be very, very interesting to see how the players react to that. Okay? It'll be very interesting to see. Because if we completely fall apart against Everton, nobody can blame the manager. Does that make sense? Nobody can blame the manager, because that will clearly show that these players have a weak mentality. So I think this is a really good test, actually. A really, really good test against Everton. And if they come out and we batter them 6-7-0, okay, maybe then you say, this is a bit strange. I don't think it will, though. I think it'll be a very, very tight game. Lumen says, Kieran, would you personally want Erik ten Hag gone if we lost our next 3 games? No. I'm not, I say no. I've said this to you guys many, many times before. For me, the blame is at the top, the Glazers, then John Murtagh, then Richard Arnold, the sporting director and the CEO, then the scouts, then the players, then Erik ten Hag and his coaching staff. They're bottom of the list. So it would have to get really, really bad. I mean, I'm going to look at the fixtures again really, really quickly, okay? If we lost to Everton, Galatasaray and Newcastle within the space of the week really badly, I'm talking like 3-4-0 each game, you have to then start asking questions, because as soon as the players stop playing for the manager, yes, we know that that's happened too many times before. Yes, we know that these players throw managers under the bus, but if a player isn't playing for the manager, then that's a problem, because you can't sack a whole football team, can you? Whereas one manager going, does that resolve the Varane situation? Does that resolve the Sancho situation? Does that resolve the Casemiro situation? Potentially. It's almost like you've got 3 players back who are probably 3 of our better players, and you've spent no money. So those are the things that Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos would have to have, those types of conversations. They could probably say, well, if we could work out those relationships with those 3 players, we probably wouldn't need to sign anyone in January, So we'll have to just wait and see. I'll say this, right? If we lose the next 3 games, I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm not going to say sack Erik ten Hag. I'm not. Everton away is difficult. Everton away is a very, very difficult game. Very difficult. Especially after they've just been deducted 10 points. They're going to be so up for that game. Galatasaray away. We've never beaten Galatasaray away from home. And we're not the same club that we were 10 years ago, are we? Newcastle United, that's going to be a difficult game. Like, I'm not going to say sack the manager for losing 3 games, which I think we probably should be losing anyway. Irvin says, according to a good source, you were due a haircut. Mate, I am definitely due a haircut, yeah. It's getting cold in the UK now, so I'm letting my hair grow a little bit. But yeah, I'm letting my hair grow. So it's freezing here now. Throughout the whole of the summer, it was like 30 degrees and hot and humid. So the shaved head look was the way. But I think in the winter, I will be growing it a bit longer. Let's have a look. Henrik says, how many players are nearly back from injury? This could help for current issues with player positions. Well, Luke Shaw's available apparently for the game on Sunday. Onana's available. Martinez is out for, I think, another month or 2. Casemiro's out for a month or 2. Amad Diallo's out for, I think, about a month. Kobe Mainoo's obviously back. There's still maybe 4 or 5 of the kind of first team players that are unavailable and will be unavailable for a long period of time. I think it will be a massive boost if... I think it would be a massive boost if we see Luke Shaw on Sunday. I really, really do. But right, we've gone for everything. Yeah, we've gone for everything on the show tonight, guys. I will be back live tomorrow at 8:30 as always. Please do smash a like